Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and so are you if you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Manifesting Magic with Dr. J, and of course, I'm Dr. J. I talk about everything related to manifesting, like everything that might get in your way, that might boost it, that might be stalling it, plateauing, how to create desires, everything. Look at all my videos, everything related to manifesting. Because I think it's the most important aspect of our lives, creating the experience that we want to have. Like, how can it get better than that, right? So, I am discussing, first, I need to shut this door because it is making a lot of noise. One moment. Wow, so much better. I'm talking about the importance of understanding your childhood traumas in order to manifest cleanly, right? Because if you don't understand your childhood wounds and your childhood traumas, you will create and manifest based on trauma and not based on the positive, beautiful things that you want to experience in life, right? So I was having a conversation with my older daughter, who's very fun to have conversations with when it comes to like big life stuff, because we've been talking their whole lives. I mean, they get it. They can have whole conversations. And she was talking about, I was telling her about childhood wounds. And I was saying sometimes when you meet people, and I was talking about me and their dad, when you meet people and you want to start a family and you get married and all that kind of stuff, and you do this process, a lot of times you're not sure, you don't even know where you have issues, because many times you walk into these environments thinking that you're pretty perfect. Especially when you're like 20 something years old, you think that you are mostly together and that, you know, somebody should be lucky to have you. Most of the time, a lot of people do think that way, right? And it's not necessarily a negative thing. You just think real positive, but it's not based on your true self. The confidence and the belief and the ideas you have are based on the false self that you've created over the years in order to cope with the childhood traumas that we've all experienced. The thing about childhood traumas is that it can't happen anywhere else. Like the impact, the deep impact of the things that happen in childhood, they can't happen anywhere else. That is when you come into this space, that's like the entrance door into the universe, the earth. Peopling every day. That's your introduction, your childhood. And the people that you have guiding you in that introduction, in the environment they have you in, heavily impact the way that you create relationships, your finances, your belief in yourself, your career, all those things later on in life. Now, this is Manifesting Magic with Dr. J. It is. I believe in law of attraction, manifesting magic, right? But I also have a heavy academic side because I do like education. I don't think it should be a gatekeeper, and I don't think it should have these limitations on it to where people that are underprivileged are in debt because they want to educate themselves. But I do like the idea of being in a place where you have a controlled space and you are introduced to topics and ideas that you previously were not. And so now that we have Google, you can take that information and not only use what the classroom teacher's telling you, you can go back to the internet and go find more information on the topic and possibly bring something back to the class. So I went to school just to get better, just to do better, because I learned a long time ago that bachelor degree people didn't live in poverty. They were just making it, some of them, but if you had a bachelor's degree, I was in a city and they said 0% of the people with a bachelor's degree were in poverty. So I feel like it is an excellent way to get you to qualify for positions that are right above doing very base level in society. So I think there's a big benefit to a lot of people when education is your boost, right? Because you got to get in there somewhere, and education is it for a lot of people. And so I did these classes because I was so deeply inspired and like intrigued by how much people don't realize that they are a result of everything around them. I remember having an argument with someone a long time ago. This was before I was even in college. I had to be 18 or 19 or 20 years old. Maybe I was in college. And I remember them saying that they wanted to get some type of plastic surgery. And I was just like, Plastic surgery, I don't care now. It's just 20 some odd years ago when plastic surgery was a whole different kind of thing, right? But back then I was like, oh no, I was all love yourself, blah, blah, blah. I was all giving my opinion and stuff. But what I remember saying when I was very young was, well, just know you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it because society says that you should have this thing and you want to fit in with society. And the person was so offended. No, my belief, my thoughts, I am making a decision. And I'm like, you don't have an I. You are a product of the world that we live in. You are a product of the limitations that you've been around and the things that you have a lack of exposure to. You are a product of that. And so if your childhood had trauma in it and nothing exposed you along the way to something that is very negative that happened in the background, if you're married for the first time at 25 and this person brings that out of you, you don't even know how imperfect you are until you start mixing and intermingling with other people. So I was telling my daughter this, and I know I went in a circle. I was telling her this because I was just like, people meet each other and sometimes they don't realize how deeply they're working in trauma. When you go to a job interview or you go to get, you go to work on something, you don't realize the energy sometimes you're bringing into the space because you're so deep into whatever traumatic issue happened, right? Because in your mind, until it's exposed, some of it is just normal. And you think that you picked out some of the major red flags. It's like, yeah, abuse. I know that happened. I know this happened. I know this happened. But where the real childhood trauma that comes to haunt us and that holds up our manifestations later on in life comes from, it's from that subtle stuff. It's from being gaslighted. It's from subtle emotional abuse that over time makes a person not believe in themselves and not trust themselves ultimately. So they look outside for all the answers for everything that they need to handle and take care of in their lives, right? So you just want to make sure that you don't have access. Make sure you know that you don't have access to all of the ways that you were traumatized as a child until you are faced with those situations to where those things are brought out of you. And what I want to get across today about this subject is that when those things are brought out of you, you have two ways that you can go. You can go in one direction and keep on acting like you're perfect and say, I don't have anything to change. This person that I'm with is awful. And you can go on and act like the person was the worst person in the relationship ever and you played no role in it, that you can go on and do that, but you're going to keep running into the same person with a different face and some different hair and some different clothes, right? And they may get better and better with their intellect. They may get better jobs. They may make more money, but it'll be the same kind of person that you'll be dragging into your space over and over again. And that's somebody who's operating in their trauma and don't know it because you're operating in your trauma. You were exposed to it, but you chose to believe that you were still perfect and the other person had some issues, right? So my thing is, when you see these things, when you see these big red flags about yourself that pop up, and you know that you're wrong, right? You can rationalize it 100 different ways, but at the end of the day, if you are jealous of someone and that's why you don't like them, you know it deep down inside. It doesn't matter if you convince the world anything different, right? So that deep down inside nugget of who you are, something negative you picked up from feeling inadequate as a child a long time ago, you take it with you and you hide it, and you meet other people who hide it really well too. And you get along for a while. And then when both of you can't hide anymore, the ugliness comes out because you're going to meet people where you are. So my biggest goal in life is to always be in the place where I'm cleaning. Any nonsense, negative, crazy behavior, cleaning. Any ideas that I thought were once true and then life has proved them differently. And it made me stand there for a while feeling awestruck with like, I can't believe I believed that all this time, and clean it. You were wrong. It's all good. Clean it. Everybody's wrong about something, right? Clean it. Because when you clean that out, you're cleaning out your finances. You're cleaning out your career. You're cleaning out your relationships. You're cleaning out your life. The more we hold on to those walls and those fake facades that we put up when we didn't even know that we were creating them, the longer they haunt us throughout our lives. So look at some of the people that you know who don't face any truths or awarenesses about themselves and who they are. What kind of lifestyles are they living? Are they happy? Are they in positive, healthy relationships with people? Are their finances intact? All these things, right? So you have to pay attention. It's like, well, if I want those things, I want a good relationship. I want my finances intact. I want to feel good about myself on a regular basis. That behavior of cleaning out your nonsense has to be done in order to truly enjoy and have access to the beautiful things that you receive in your life. We see it all the time. People that have everything and have nothing at all. And I won't even mention it, but you've seen it on the stage more recently in pop culture. People that have everything, but they act like they have nothing at all. It's because they are so deeply embedded in a childhood traumatic incident, and the world comes around and tell you how great you are. So you think, oh, I don't have anything to change. They like the facade. The facade is working. The facade is working. So you never clean it up. You won't get anything. You're going to get somebody who's just as broken as you in a relationship, and y'all are going to be tormenting each other. And I see that in a lot of celebrity relationships and things like that. They're going to torment each other. And one is going to be a high functioning, high level negative, and the other one's going to be low functioning negativity, right? You have to clean out that stuff. Any bitterness, any resentments, any jealousies, any inadequacies that you feel or shortcomings, and then you're pushing them off on other people. The minute they say something, all of a sudden the feedback offends you. It offends you because you're still working from your 12-year-old mind. You're still working from feeling inadequate and not good enough or negative about something in a school environment, at home, or whatever. And you snap right back to the first way that you dealt with a situation like that and handled it. And the way you dealt with it was the way that people around you were dealing with it, because a lot of them were unconscious too about it. So you unconsciously reacted in a petty way, in a small way, in a way that was less than what you were capable of giving. But when you don't change, you're creating a prison. You're creating a hell for yourself because you know better. When you know better and you don't do better, it's extremely painful. So I always say, when you know better, don't trick yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Clean that madness out. Clean out the childhood traumas. And the more they pop up, the more you got to look and say, when I'm feeling negative towards somebody, I know that I got to look right back in the mirror and say, hey, what is it about this situation that I am creating? And why am I creating it? And when did I start to think that creating it in this way was okay? And you can probably look back to the first time that you reacted to a situation like that and what the people around you did in the situation, how they handled it, how they reacted to you. Did they shame you? Did they guilt you? Did they blame you? Anything like that. And then you can see, oh my God, I'm just feeling insecure because, or I had a mom that never told me I was beautiful. She didn't even think she was beautiful. I'm feeling insecure because, well, I had parents who didn't really believe in themselves. So I struggled to believe in myself. You know, I'm feeling insecure because I had parents who were violent and aggressive, and my reaction to people saying things that I didn't look like was violent and aggressive. But am I an awful person? Am I a bad person? No. But once I noticed that, I don't walk around telling everybody, say, get with it or get out. Take my personality or go the other way. No. What I do is say, hey, I want to clean this up. I want a better life. I want to attract better people. I want to attract better situations and environments and circumstances. So I have to see myself more clearly and as clearly as possible every single day. I have to commit to that on a daily basis. Anyway, I planned on talking for 10 minutes. Looks like I went into almost 15. I hope y'all having an amazing day. I hope you are enjoying your lives. I got something coming up at 10:30 because I'm like, wait, I'm not watching the time. And have a wonderful, wonderful day.